What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Car Confessions. Matt Johnson here, your better car guy. I come to you each and every week on Monday at 12 o'clock, fresh off the weekend, give you a topic to listen to or interview an entrepreneur, find out what makes them different. The topics that I discuss are some type of sales or buying tip, and the entrepreneurs that I sit down with them to see what makes them different, what makes them tick, and why they do what they do, as opposed to just punching a clock from 9 to 5 and being happy or miserable doing the daily grind. And today I've got a special guest with me, Brian Sherman, Sherman Performance Group, and I will go ahead and let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about who he is. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing quite well, Matt. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing outstanding, man.
That's awesome.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are.
I'm Brian Sherman with Sherman Performance Group. I'm affiliated with the John Maxwell team, certified through John Maxwell himself and the John Maxwell Company. And I'm a leadership coach, transformational coach. I also teach and train on leadership, development, personal development, professional development. And it's my passion. It's what I live for. I like to see people's lives and businesses change for the better and just see people going after their potential. That's my purpose, is to help other people get results in their life and business and just really help them perform at a top level.
That's awesome. So as far as what you do, you're a leadership coach. Is that your primary job? Or what all is involved with being the leadership coach?
I also do leadership training. I also speak at events. I do leadership training, communication training. I also do personal life coaching. I do business coaching, which entails leadership and personal development. It's just all tied into one, because I really believe, Matt, that you really can't separate your life and put it in different compartments, right? Like in your kitchen, you got different drawers for different things. You got a drawer for your knives and silverware. You got a drawer for your Tupperware. You got a drawer for your plates. Our lives don't operate like that, because what happens in your life at home, it affects your business. It affects your job. It affects your work ethic. It affects everything that happens in your life. So I kind of look at it like a gear, and how everything just works in harmony, all areas of our life. And when somebody hires me, that's what we go after. We go after your business. We go after your home life. We go after your relationships. We go after your personal life, your physical health, your spiritual life. We just take every area of our life and combine it into one and get it all working into harmony. Because I think so many times we have companies and people, they excel in one or two areas, but the other two areas kind of slack off. Like, you can be super successful in your business, but if your home life is falling apart, what good is it? You know what I mean, Matt? It's like, I see it all the time. I see people climb the success ladder and they get to the top and they're by themselves. They didn't bring their family along with them, and they lose their family. Or they get to the top and they lose their health. And I just want everybody to be successful in all four quadrants of life, which is your physical life, your spiritual life, your relationships, and your business or your career. And I just help people get in harmony with all four areas so that they can reach their potential. That's my calling in life. That's what I was born to do. That's what drives me, gives me energy, and it gets me excited. And I'm loving life right now, Matt.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. And I especially love the gear analogy, where everything lines up, meshes together, works just like clockwork. I love that. I don't know that it can be put much better than that, with those four areas of your life all lining up and just working in harmony. And I love that you focus on all four of those quadrants, as opposed to, well, I will help you only with your business and your leadership. You're going to have to go somewhere else for either, home life or spiritual, something, and those two play a huge factor as well as the physical in our everyday life, everyday home life, everyday work life. It's just huge. So you mentioned that it's your calling. Is that why you do this, or how did you get started in coaching and the leadership development?
How I got started was, Matt, I started off in the construction industry.
Okay.
And I went through trade school, and I was a pipe welder by trade. And I got through my 5 years of schooling, started right out of high school. I was 17 years old. By the time I was 21, they threw me on a job, gave me a stack of drawings about that thick, right? And they said, here's 15 guys, go and build this system. So I was 21 years old. I had 45-year-olds. I had 55-year-olds. I had 60-year-olds. I had late 20-year-olds all working for me. And I found out real quick that just because I was the general foreman didn't mean crap. I had a hard time getting them to listen to me and what I wanted them to do. And I went home frustrated that day, and I called my father-in-law up, and he said, look, son, he said, you got to go get this book by John Maxwell called I'm Developing the Leader Within You. I'm thinking, what does leadership got to do with a construction guy that's trying to get a job done? Well, little did I realize that everything you do in your life, whether it's business, career, your marriage, your kids, your family, everything, your physical health, it all rises and falls on your leadership. And I truly 100% believe that your leadership, your personal leadership, it touches every area of your life. So I got started when I was 21 years old in personal development and leadership. And then in my early 30s, I really had this epiphany about, is this all that I was called to do? Was to run job sites, work with my hands, work with my tools. And it just felt like there was a greater calling that was pulling me. So I had done a little bit of public speaking before. All through my childhood up until my early 20s, I had a real bad stuttering problem, Matt. I couldn't even speak on the phone to anybody, and to try to speak in public was just almost impossible. I just couldn't get the words out. I'd get stuck. I'd feel humiliated, and I just wouldn't speak. So I started taking sign language in high school and become very proficient at it, because I had this big plan that I was going to just stop speaking and just do sign language, just start signing, because it was just too hard. It was too complicated, and it was driving me nuts. I hated myself for it, didn't love myself, had very low self-esteem, very low confidence. And I used to farm, Matt, when I was young. Okay. I started when I was 12 years old, and I remember being in those fields 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day, sweating my butt off in the summertime. Here I was, a 12-year-old kid, picking tomatoes, picking spinach, and I would dream about being a CEO and having my own company and working for myself. And then little did I realize that those dreams get put in your subconscious mind, and they eat at you over the years. And in my mid-20s, I started a landscaping company and did very well with that. Once I went full-time in that, I was into the $500,000 to $700,000 worth of gross sales bracket, doing an awesome job, loved every minute of it. But then I hit that mid-30 point, and I said, wow, I'm about halfway through my life. Is the last part of my life going to be the same as my first? And I said, it can't be. I said, there's got to be, God didn't create me to just do this. You know what I mean? Not to go to work 60, 70 hours a week, to struggle in every area of my life. God didn't create me for that. And I believe he didn't create that for you neither. For the audience that's listening to this podcast. I believe there's a greater dimension to your life than just getting up, going to work 40 hours a week, coming home, sitting on a couch, drinking beer, and watching football. There's more to life than that. And I truly believe that we get comfortable being inside our comfort zone. And until somebody comes in and disrupts it, or you have an epiphany or something, or somebody really challenges you to look at your life and really dissect it, were you created to do what you're doing? That's my question. That's my first question when somebody hires me to coach them in their life and in their business. Do you feel that you were created to do this?
That's a good question.
And that's something you've really got to think about, because, Matt and audience, you're really trading your life for what you're doing. I mean, gosh, I don't know too many people that just work 40 hours a week. Most people work between 50 and 70. And if you add that up, that's almost a third of your lifetime you're going to be doing the work that you're doing. And you're trading your life for that. So I really started contemplating that and really started chewing on that question. And when I asked that question, a lot of people have a hard time answering it. And they really can't in one session. So I say, look, take that home on that question. Chew on it for 2-3 weeks. And let's come back together and really dissect that and really go deep in it. And until I started asking myself the hard questions, I was just unsatisfied. I wasn't very happy. I wasn't fulfilled. So to make a long story short, in my mid-30s, I started seeking I'm going within myself to find those answers to my life. And I've always been the leadership type. I've always been approachable. Everybody's always come to me to confide in me, ask me to ask them for advice in different areas of their life. So that kind of stuff came natural to me. So in my late 30s, I started seeking out the coaching profession. I started seeking out teaching and training, and it led me right back to where I started from with the John Maxwell team. They started up this training team in 2011.
Okay.
In late 2014 is when I joined the John Maxwell team and been loving life ever since. Life couldn't get much better, I don't think. Because I'm living in my purpose. I'm fulfilled. Every time I get to speak, every time I get to share, man, my passion just comes alive. And it's quite ironic how just 20 years ago, I was afraid to get on a stage and speak. I was afraid to get in front of a group of people and just speak and share my heart. And now I'm doing it for a living. Now I'm doing it just about every single day. I'm doing live video every single day. Look, 12 months ago, you couldn't have paid me to do a live video on Facebook. Look, Periscope came out, 3 years ago, I think?
I think that's about right.
I never did a live video on Periscope. I had an account, but I was scared to death. I allowed fear to hold me back. And I'm telling you, in the 36 days that I've started doing live video, I've had more opportunity to speak than the last 25 years of my life, last 20 years of my life. So I'm telling you, if you have a business, if you're in sales, you need to create content and get on live video or start doing a podcast. You've got to get your heart out there. You've got to get your passion and your purpose out to everybody. You've got to come from the back and get to the front of the room. You've got to let people know who you are.
And following your journey so far, I try to catch every live video that you did. What brought that on all of a sudden of going from, like you said, just 12 months ago to not being able to get you on live video to making the commitment to not just do one here, maybe one or two a week, but you made the commitment just all out. I'm going to do this every day for the next 365 days. How did that come about? What happened with that, going from one extreme to the other?
Okay. I'm going to get real transparent, and it's fear. 99.99% of the times why you're not taking action is because you're scared or you're fearful. You're afraid what some people are going to think. You're afraid of the ridicule that you're going to take. You're afraid of what your parents are going to say. You're afraid of even what your family members, your wife, your husband. Look, we got to start taking massive action. Whenever I come up against something that I'm scared of, that I'm afraid of, now I use that to drive me. I use my fear now to drive me. Whenever I used to get up in front of people, I used to freak out. I get scared to death. I mean, I'd be shaken to death. My heart would be pounding in my chest. And And what I'm learning is, Matt, is when you take massive action in the direction that you're scared of or that you're afraid of, awesome things happen and it gets 10 times easier. Now, I can get on the stage right now. Somebody could hand me a mic. I could get on the stage in front of 5,000 people and rip it for 60 minutes without being prepared.
That's awesome.
I'm ready. I can get on a live video anytime, any day of the week, and shoot a 15, 20-minute live video on just about any topic and feel comfortable within myself and not be scared of it. And the reason is because I've learned that you've got to take massive action and don't wait. I've been waiting to do live videos for the last 6 months. I keep saying, June 1st, I'm starting it. I'm going to get ready and go. And then June 1st come around, I don't do it. I might get my title all in on the live, and I go to hit go live, and I chicken out. I say, come July 1st, I'm going to get my confidence up. I'm ready to roll. I'm going to shoot this live video once a week starting July 1st. So July 1st happens. I set my camera, tripod, got the lights, got the backdrop, you know what I mean? Get all excited. Get your nice title, got my notes right here. I'm ready to go, you know what I mean? I go to hit live. I can't hit the live button, Matt. I'm scared to death, you know? I did that for like 4 to 5 months. And I said, man, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So then I did like a test run, right? I went on my business page where I don't have much interaction, right? And I hit live, and I did like a 5-minute point, did like 3-minute live video, hit off real quick, done. And I let it go live for like 3 hours, and then I deleted it. I said, man, this is crazy. So what I started to do, Matt, my kid.
Oh, I lost you.
Yep, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Is I started putting my phone in my truck, and as I was driving, I would just hit the video record button and just talk as I was driving and just video myself. I did that for almost 3 months straight.
Okay.
Where I would get used to hearing my voice and seeing myself on video. Because 99% of the times, people hate seeing themselves in photographs. They hate looking at themselves on video, and they hate listening to their voice. So I did that.
I'm guilty of that.
Yep. I mean, 99% of people are. That's why they don't do live video, and that's why they're struggling in their business. So I started doing it, gotten real comfortable with it, and just come November 1st, I said, look, come January 1st, I'm going to do this live video for 365 days. And a mentor said, don't you wait, you start tomorrow. And this was October 31st. So I said, November 1st, I'm starting. That's what I did. And I haven't looked back since. And I've done 36 episodes of going live. And it's gotten a lot easier, a lot more comfortable. I'm relaxed. My knees aren't shaking back and forth. I'm not twirling in my chair like this or doing one of these numbers, right?
Yeah, I'm guilty of all those.
I can sit back, I can relax, I can be transparent and be who I am. And so that's the whole story behind the 365 days of going video. And I just want to challenge you guys that are in business, that are working in a career. If you guys are comfortable in your comfort zone, I want to challenge you to get out of it. I don't care what career you're in. If you're selling insurance, if you're selling cars like Matt, if you're selling homes, if you're counseling, if you're in construction, you can create content that people want to see to get your name out there and to put yourself out there and start building a personal brand. I can tell you now from coaching other businesses that this personal branding thing is becoming very critical for getting hired. If all else is even in a business, right? Say if you're for instance, if you sell cars, right? I'm going to use Matt as an example, okay? All else is even. Matt's been selling cars for 10 years, and Susan's been selling car for 10 years. They both got the same background, basically the same personality type, same sales, and they're pretty even, right? And if Matt has a personal brand and he's got 10,000 followers on social media, he's putting out content every single week, he's been consistent, and he's got people following him, I can tell you that Matt's going to be the one to get hired first because he's already got a following. He's bringing people into that business. You know what I mean? This whole personal branding thing is really a lot bigger than what people are projecting. And I really believe in the future, in the next 3 to 5 years, companies are going to be looking on resumes for personal branding. How much of a following do you have? What are you doing to put out content into the world? Are you break leadership down to make it very understandable and very easy, because leadership is a big word. It encompasses a lot of different moving parts, but it's really simple. Do you influence people or not? If you influence people, you're a leader. And I don't care if it's just 1 or 2 people, you're leading. And you need to learn how to lead. You need to increase your leadership skills. You need to become proficient at it, at dealing with people. Because everywhere you go, you're dealing with people. And wherever there's people, there's problems. I can guarantee it. Because we're human.
Absolutely. And I love all that. Sorry, I was moving. It was telling me my internet was unstable, so I'm trying to make sure that I keep the connection. So I apologize for moving while you're giving the breakdown. So what, with all of that and having heard all of that, I know a lot of people are just going to think, well, he's a life coach or a leadership coach. There's so many of them out there. I can just look on Facebook. What separates you as a leadership coach and a life coach from somebody else? What's the advantage of buying from you? I mean, I can see your passion just coming through right now. To somebody that, may this be their first impression, their first time hearing of you or seeing you, what would you say to them as far as being the person that they need to buy from, or they need to reach out to you to coach?
Well, the number one differentiator is I've hooked up with the number one leadership guru and personal development guy in the world. If you go and look at Inc. Magazine, Success Magazine, he has been voted number one the last 6, 7, 8 years in a row as the number one leadership guru in the world. I've linked arms with that man, John Maxwell. And he's got a leadership team of 7 people that train in each specific areas. And if I have a problem, I can go right to them. I've got phone calls with them every day of the week, Monday through Friday. I've got 3 hours of access every single day. So if there's something that I don't know or I have a problem with that a client brings me, guess what? I go right to them with that issue, with that problem, and I can get it solved. I'm personally mentored by Mark Cole. He's John C. Maxwell's CEO of all 7 or 8 of his companies.
Wow.
He runs $100 million companies. I got Paul Martinelli. He's the president of the John Maxwell team. He's personally worked with Bob Proctor. He's personally worked with Les Brown. He's personally worked with Brian Tripp. All these big names he's been business partners with. He's got them on speed dial. So if I have a problem that I can't solve personally and with a client, I've got mentors in my life that I pay for. Because it would be wrong for me. Because it would be wrong for me to sell coaching to somebody, and I don't believe in having a coach myself. I mean, I personally invest in myself a lot of money. So when I ask somebody to invest in me, they better believe that I'm investing in myself so I can pour out to others. Another reason that people should hire me is I've got 42 years of life experience and about 10 years of business experience. That's a lot of life experience I've got to share with others. Another reason is I've got special gifts that I believe that really enhance my coaching and my training. My top 3 gifts is problem solving. And this is what a lot of businesses use me for, is they'll call me up, say, look, I've got this problem within my company. Can you help me brainstorm? Can I shoot some things off of you so we can mastermind, so we can talk about it? Because sometimes, Matt, it's hard to see the picture when you're inside the frame. And a lot of business owners have this problem, is that they have you ever walked into like a woods and been hunting? And then all you can see is 50 feet in front of you. But the guy in the helicopter, right, the guy that's up above, he's got the 30,000-foot view. He can see the whole 100 acres.
Yep.
And that's what a coach does for businesses and for people's lives, is they have a different perspective. They're the outsider looking in, and they can see a lot of different things that you can't. And so that's another advantage of hiring a coach and hiring me, is I can come in, I can give you that 30,000 view perspective, and maybe give you a different perspective on your business. So that's my number one gift, is problem solving. I love solving problems. It gives me energy. It gets my mind thinking. It gets me energized. Number two is that I'm a great listener. I've learned it's a skill. Listening is definitely a skill. I thought I was good until I went and got trained as a coach, until I got taught on how to learn to listen to things that aren't being said. And I've been training for the last 4 years in coaching. I love it. I'm working at a high level right now. It's my passion. So my number one skill is problem solving. Number two is listening. And then number three is I'm a great teacher. I love teaching. I can take the complicated, break it all down into manageable steps, and be able to present it in a way that you can take massive action on. See, that's the problem with reading. I hear people say, yeah, I read 5 books a week. I'm like, man, you're a great reader. But you can't possibly implement everything that you read if you're reading 5 books a week.
That's a lot.
So what I like to do is take those 5 books and read them in a year. Go back, pull out all the principles, break those principles down. Now, how can I take those principles and use them in my life, use them in my business to get a 10x return on? Because that's what I look for. Any type of money I invest in myself, if I invest in a $20 book, I expect to get a $200 return on. If I invest $1,000 into a program, I'm looking to get a $10,000 return on. I'm looking for that 10x return on my investment. So that's why people should hire me.
I love that. That was, and I love it because you've got it listed out. I'm a list guy myself, so 3 reasons. Love those. Is there anything new coming in your industry or in your business by the end of this year or starting next year?
Yes, starting next year. The John Maxwell team, and it's exclusive to John Maxwell team members. There's not another personal development company, there's not another leadership company that has anything like what John Maxwell has produced, and it's called the Leadership Game. And it's a team-building exercise, and I'm taking it into companies all over across the United States. And it's a team-building exercise, and it really dissects the problems within an organization and within the leadership of a business. So say you have 5 to 7 salespeople. They'll hire me to come in, play this game, right? And then after we get done the game, it's a great learning tool for the team. It's a great team building tool. And it also helps me dissect problems that are going on in between the team, right? In between the team members. And then I give an executive summary to the person that hired me as to what the problems are within the group and how we can solve it. And if I can't solve it, I've got other coaches, other companies that I work with that I can bring in as consultants to help solve the problem. So if it's a specialty that I'm not working in, I've got other people that I network with that I bring in on my team. to come in and help solve those issues. So right now we're starting out January. If it's local, we're starting out with a great price of just $750 for 2 hours playing the game. I can play up to 12 people. I have played up to 50 people. It's a little bit more challenging, and it takes a little bit more work because we got to break up into groups and do it that way, but it works very well between 8 and 12 people. And if it's a company local to Baltimore, I'll do it for $750 for the first 90 days of 2018 because it's a brand new product that I'm bringing to the market. I want to get it out there. I think it's going to be life-changing to businesses and organizations, for-profit and non-profit. And then if it's somebody's interested in bringing me in to play the game that's out of state, that'd be a separate price for travel and all that. But if they can get in touch with me and we can set up a 30-minute consultation call. We can talk about it and come up with a great price to get them started. Starting off the new year on the right path, getting their teams working at a high level so they can bring their companies more profit and everybody getting along and working together and moving forward to their company's goals and objectives. So that's a new thing I'm bringing to the market in 2018. I'm excited about it. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a lot of interacting. It's not where you bring me in for 2 hours and I just lecture. No, it's a back and forth competition between the team members, and it's also me stepping in and speaking into different things that's happening within the game. It's a great time of teamwork, great time of learning, and it just really gives the HR trainer or the CEO a great executive summary of how the team's meshing together, how they're working together, what are the personality issues that's going on, the communication problems, the leadership problems, the teamwork problems. I mean, it just brings out a lot of issues that will just excel their company coming up in 2018. And I really want to see everybody get the results that they want in their business and in their life. And I'm just really excited for a great year coming up in 2018.
That's awesome. I love that, especially that you bring up the part where it's interactive. There's back and forth, and you're not just standing up in front of people coming in and lecturing. I mean, people get lectures either at work as it is or while they're in school or some type of training. So to have it actual back and forth, that's awesome. I love that. That's really going to separate what you do versus anybody else. So that's awesome. I look forward to seeing you launch that and hearing how well you do with that.
See, something else that I do now, Matt, is that when you get up in front of people and you do training and you lecture, they're only retaining about 7 to 12% of that information. And to me, for a company to pay me $10,000 and come in and do a full day seminar, spend 6 hours of training, it's not a waste of money because they can get some value out of it. But where the value add really comes in is in mastermind groups. And I really push this because in a mastermind group, you've got 8 to 12 people in a mastermind group, right? And I'm doing a training for about 6 to 9 minutes on a principle or a topic. And then we open the floor up, we open the room up to those 8 to 12 people to respond to the information I presented, to ask questions or to offer advice to the other people that's in the group. So everybody takes that principle. I do my mastermind groups mainly with entrepreneurs that are coming from different industries. And it's awesome to see how a car sales guy can help a real estate agent person. It's really interesting to see how a corporate executive can help a mom and shop construction company. It's awesome to bring them people together and we can talk about a business principle and really break it down and how it works to your specific situation and your business. And Napoleon Hill talks about mastermind groups, and I swear by them. My business really accelerated by having mastermind groups and building my own personal mastermind group that I have of just 4 people that that we come together weekly, and it's my personal mastermind group because I want to grow as a person. I want to build as a business. And I take these mastermind groups into corporations. I take them into entrepreneurs, and we meet online. We meet in person. I use Zoom conference calling for my ones I do virtually, and I'll have 8 faces on the screen, and I'll teach on a topic for 6 minutes, and then we mastermind on that topic for 30, 45 minutes, sometimes longer. Then I'll teach on another principle, and then we'll go over that. And it's just awesome to see the correspondence. And you know what I like most about the mastermind groups? Not only do I get paid to teach and to facilitate it, but I get to learn because I'm a learner. That's another thing that I just love. It gives me passion to learn because I can learn from everybody around me. And so that's something else that I just wanted to share with your audience is that if you don't have a mastermind group, you've got to find one and get in one. And I offer them all throughout the year. Most of them are short. They're 8 to 12 weeks, 60 to 90 days. Anybody can afford it. But that's what I got on mastermind groups. They've life. They changed my business.
It sounds like it. That's awesome. I love that you're not just restricted to the Baltimore area, like you mentioned, that you get on Zoom calls and you can see them, you can interact with them. So you have more of a reach than just what you have access to in your backyard. So that's awesome. I love it. And I'm sure that has only helped your business and grown your business as well, taking advantage of those tools.
Yes, absolutely. Especially, I use Zoom all the time for that. It works great. It's very easy to use, and it's just a great platform.
Well, that's awesome. As we wind down the interview here, again, I thank you so much for taking time to sit down with me. Tell everybody where they can find you, how to get a hold of you, and what platforms you're on that they can follow you on.
Everybody can find me at ShermanPerformanceGroup.com. My phone number's on there, my personal cell number, so you can call me if you got an issue. If you want to ask me a question, feel free to reach out. You can get me on Facebook Messenger. I got my own business page under Brian Sherman Coaching. You can get me on Twitter at Sherman Coaching. You can also reach out to me on Instagram at Brian Sherman Coaching also. And I'll be happy to set up a 30-minute free consultation and set up a strategy call with you. Let's get you started off in 2018 on the right foot. So when December comes around the following year, you're not in the same place that you're at right now. I want to see you get the results that you want in 2018.
That's awesome. I absolutely love that. As is custom in the Car Confessions episodes, it's confession time. So what is something that you would like to confess to the audience and all the listeners out here?
I'd like to confess to you that, man, growing up, I never thought I'd be speaking for a living or that I'd be communicating 24/7. I mean, now I'm doing YouTube, doing lives, doing videos, talking in public, speaking every day of the week. I'm speaking now. And I just got on to confess to you that I couldn't even speak first 22 years of my life. I mean, it was hilarious in school trying to get them to have me read in school. You know how they would call on you, hey, read this next paragraph.
Yep.
I gotta go use the bathroom. I used to do that all the time to get out from being able to talk in public. So that's my confession is that I really overcame a lot of different things, and the big thing that I've really overcome is speaking in public and just talking in general, being able to communicate, having the confidence to get on the camera, having the confidence to step on the stage in front of 2,200 people is just overcoming those difficulties, having a confidence, stepping out of my comfort zone and just growing and starting to blossom and just coming out of obscurity and getting myself into the limelight so people know who I am. I know what I'm about. So that's my confession today, Matt, is that I really had a hard time communicating when I was my first 20 years of life. I just couldn't speak. I get hung up on words, so I just shut my mouth. We go to different parties, and I'd be quiet. Everybody thought that I was just super, super, super shy, which I am quiet, but I wouldn't say that I'm shy. But everybody thought I was because I just wouldn't speak. I just stay to myself and be quiet. So that's my confession for that.
Well, you've come a long way, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to sit down with me and inform my audience and my listeners. I truly appreciate that. I have no doubt that there are only great things to come from you within the next year. So that's going to wrap up episode number 31 of Car Confessions with my special guest, Brian Sherman of Brian Sherman Performance Group. If you guys have any questions, he gave you all the information to reach out to him in the comments section. This will be posted on YouTube as well as Facebook. I will have him post all of the areas that he can be reached on all of those platforms. Thank you guys so much for joining. I greatly appreciate you tuning into this episode. Matt Johnson, your better car guy, here at John North Ford Lincoln Nissan in Emporia, because your experience matters. Thank you guys. I'll see you on the lot and see you next week.